The Esports World Cup 2025 has just finished, and the Mongols took their first big event trophy. However, the runner-up was another national team, which, however, experienced turbulence since moving into a new organization. It's Aurora. The Turkish lineup was able to power through Falcons in the semi-finals, and the main reason for their success is the resurgence of Xantares form. People call him the Turkish Terminator for a reason, yet during the first season of 2025, he had a significant drop-off in his performance, which directly affected the team's results. So, to see him performing this well at the big event was a great experience, but more importantly, much needed for Aurora to gain hope that they will have deep tournament finishes in the second season of 2025. Here you are watching the breakdown of Xantares' performance at Esports World Cup 2025. Aurora came into EWC with moderate expectations, since their last season was full of mixed results, yet they believed that they were capable of much more than their latest results. The team, after PGL Astana's third place finish, experienced a slight dip in the form, but Xantares' drop-off started even earlier despite his brilliant beginning of the year. We can only guess how much his back problems affected his game and whether this was the only reason that caused his drop-off, yet EWC was a bounce-back tournament for him, and a sweet reminder of us just how amazing Xantares really is. With 1.30 rating, it's his second best event of the year, only behind the first season of the Blast Bounty, and his team also finished second, just like at the Blast tournament. The thing is, he has the skill to affect any stage of the round, which ultimately makes him a central piece of Aurora's roster. He had a 1.26 opening rating at EWC with 57.9% success rate and high volume. And Xantares is known for his aggressive nature and getting a lot of entries. However, what impressed me more is his impact on mid and late round scenarios. The number of rounds where Xantares turned them around at this tournament was crazy. His clutch stats were higher than usual, and in this particular round, he gets a crucial trade in apartments, but more importantly, didn't give away his life to an AWPer who expected T's to come to what looked like an uncontested space. Eventually, he ends up in a difficult 2v3 post plant, yet he masterfully manages to pull it off. And some of these rounds could be really timely, like here, when on a low buy round, he gets a trade frag to put his team at an advantage, and eventually, when the round was evened up by a monacy, he single-handedly destroys Falcon's bracket setup, and by his incredible play, he completely swings the odds in this game. On Inferno vs Falcons, Aurora was so dominant on T side that we weren't able to see much of his impact on City side, outside of the pistol round when he and Vicadia destroyed any hopes of Falcons for a comeback. But luckily for us, we have a completely opposite map against Heroic, where Aurora finished their City side campaign with an 11-1 score, and Xantares had 21 kills and only 4 deaths. The thing is, his T side impact absolutely carries over to City side. He entries for his team, like in this pistol, provides important and strong multi-kills in key moments of the game, just like in this round, when he denied Heroic's attempt to return a favor, or in this incredible example where I don't even need to say anything. He also had some important kills in clutch scenarios, like this one to even a situation, which allows Major to finish up the round. But as you've already noticed, those are examples of absolute pop-offs from Xantares, which definitely makes Aurora's life easier, but you can't rely on these pop-offs all the time. Remember when I told you about the perfectly timed multi-kills? The luxury of having Xantares in the team is that even in his modest games, he could win the most important rounds of the game by himself out of nowhere, which is an incredible quality that a Counter-Strike player can have. On the second map against Falcons, prior to this round, he had a pretty average game, but he single-handedly cracks open an A side from pop to put Falcons on a low buy territory. But the craziest thing is that just 2 rounds later, he makes one of the most crisp triple kills of this year. You might think that this was just a great day for him, yet prior to this game, in the quarterfinals against Heroic, he also had a roughly quiet second map after dominating on the first one. And when you initially look at this situation, it's pretty difficult to see possibilities to make a great play if you are Xantares. It's one of the hardest sides to retake, your team barely has any nades, and you've just lost your captain in window. Yet somehow, he reads a hiding car player and sneaks past him to take a freebie, then follows up with a confused car player, and after that, it just feels like he won't let this round slip. Yet just 2 rounds later, he finds himself in 3v5 situation with the legitimate threat of being split from 2 sides. And Heroic maybe got way ahead of themselves, but you always have to punish your opponents for their mistakes. Eventually, Aurora was able to capitalize in this key double, once again thanks to Xantares. And he also had plenty of impactful rounds just in those 2 games, like this little double to win their bonus buy round, or little sneaky beaky play in a smoke to provide an insurance policy for his team. But one thing is certain, with Xantares at his peak, Aurora could be a legitimate title contender and capable of taking down the best teams in the world. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and see you next time. Peace.